Hi, welcome to this solo episode of Nurturing the Future 1001 Days to Save the World. This is a really exciting episode because it marks the transition of Blossom and Berry into a totally new phase and era where we're really stepping into teaching the power of somatic practices for parents and babies. So previously, I have been teaching the importance of nurturing touch, baby massage and yoga from the perspective of daily practices, health and well-being, bonding, connection, and creating community by bringing parents and babies together. But since my Tantra teacher training in Bali and Goa over the last few years and living truly a tantric lifestyle in terms of teaching love, understanding that we receive love through the body and through somatic practices like breath, movement, sound, and touch, we can release anything that is holding us back from living a joyful, pleasurable, blissful life. I have infused Blossom and Berry training with this perspective, and it feels totally right because Blossom and Berry has been evolving as I've been evolving, as my family's been evolving, as my children have been evolving. And that's one thing that will never change about Blossom and Berry and my leadership is that I'm constantly expanding and looking for ways to go deeper into my passion and my purpose, and then bringing that knowledge and wisdom back to the community to empower others and to see how that fits and resonates with them. So we're stepping into this new powerful era of somatic parenting. And this episode is called Somatic Parenting, How the Body Becomes the First Language of Love. So I'm offering here for you a reframe of perhaps how you've seen baby massage and baby yoga in the past, an opportunity to step into another layer of depth with the work that you might be doing. And every time you do this, it allows you to really understand why the work that you're doing with parents and babies is so important. And that really creates this sense of value and motivation in the work that you're doing and helps you to step up fully into your leadership and remember how important you are and the work is that you're doing. So I want to really kind of clearly explain why baby massage and baby yoga and nature connection such as tree babies and our wild well-being classes all sit under the umbrella of somatic practices for parents and babies. Now, somatic practices might be a totally new word for you. You might not understand at the moment what that is, but in essence, it's around connecting with the body, using our connection to the body, our nervous system, to feel and navigate our way through life, coming into the body over the head and understanding how to give ourselves what we need through our relationship with our body. Now, we're discovering the power of somatics, which is not something new. It's something that we've known for years. It's what human beings have done. We've used sound. There's so many examples of sound technology in ancient civilizations. My sister organization, Nurture Harmonics, and our Nurture Harmonics practitioner training goes into this in depth. Sound is energy, frequency, and vibration. It's incredibly powerful. Again, it comes from using our bodies as a channel for energy, releasing energy through sound. Movement. It's been used in so many cultures through dance, different somatic practices like jumping, shaking, all of these different things that have been practiced intuitively hold the secret to regulating our nervous system and releasing stress in our bodies. Breath. So many breathing techniques across the world, different spiritual practices, philosophies, different traditions. We know intuitively how to regulate ourselves within our environment. We've been given these powerful gifts to listen to our body and use this wisdom of the body to help us be more harmoniously balanced human beings living in joy and in harmony and co-creation with everything around us. We know that our bodies are the first instruments of love, regulation, and connection, and that's what somatic parenting really is. So somatic simply means of the body. It's the study and experience of how we live, feel, and heal through our body. And it's how we understand our relationship with everything around us through what our bodies are telling us. Now, many, many times we can numb out from our body. So I don't know if you're listening to this and you've ever had a sense of intuition, like, I know that I don't want to do this. Or I know that I do want to do this. I feel it in my body. I've got a feeling in my gut. You know, when you say, trust your gut, listen to your body. That's your body. That's your nervous system helping you to make aligned decisions that are for your highest good. And everybody's nervous system is wired to a completely unique frequency because of the experiences that they've had in their life. And so by listening to our bodies, we can help to understand what it is that we need. And one of the biggest things that has led to us taking on perhaps healthy habits, unhealthy habits, unhealthy relationships, unhealthy practices, or abandoning ourselves is not listening to our body, using our heads, which are on our mind, which can be programmed from birth to accept stories, beliefs, patterns that are not ours, that come from our family, from parenting, from education, from the media, from society, from politics, from our culture, and we don't listen to what our bodies say. So somatic parenting is about trusting your intuition, trusting your body, allowing your body to lead you. And from this place of real rootedness in the body, we have become a really strong anchor for our babies. And we give babies the permission to trust their bodies. Now, the amazing thing about babies is that when they feel something, they let us know. Through subtle cues, vocalization, crying, body language, babies don't hide anything from us. They are true. And unfortunately, there's a lot that's happened in the parenting world where we've been taught to ignore what babies are telling us through their bodies, through their senses, through their cries, and actually to enforce our way of being onto babies. And in that way, we're completely disconnecting babies from their bodies at the beginning by trying to get babies to feed when we want them to feed, sleep when we want them to behave that we want them to behave. So that we're creating a disconnection between babies' bodies and their feelings, their self-expression, very close, very, very soon at the beginning of life, in a way that is not, I don't believe, is natural. Because if we look at the way we've parented in the past, where babies are in close proximity to parents, there's breastfeeding, there's co-sleeping, there's baby wearing, all of these things, the connection between a parent's body and a baby's body is often skin to skin most of the time. So therefore, each person, the baby and the parent, can feel and sense what the other needs. And there's attunement and there's co-regulation. And that helps the parent and baby feel closer, more connected. It's a deeper understanding. And there's an unspoken language of the body that occurs. But there's been so much separation through parenting practices that this has been lost. And then on top of that, this dismissal of babies' needs through the way that they're communicating to us because they're seen as less than. Whereas for me, a baby is a sovereign being that must be respected, honoured, so that it feels safe and grounded, seen and heard. And the baby doesn't have to change itself in any way to receive love from the parent. It simply is and is in its full expression. So it's really important to really lean into somatic practices because this is where the wisdom lies. This is where the truth exists. And this is where we can do the work. This is where we can take different techniques and practices to soothe and calm and release what does no longer serves us from the nervous system through the breath, through movement, anything that's been stored, anything that's been repressed. Anything that is no longer needed can be released through breath, movement, sound, nature practice, meditation, nurturing touch, all of these things. It's so powerful. So we have the opportunity through somatic practices to clear, release and return to the wisdom of the body and to who we truly are. Now, this is really about body-based awareness and connection for parents and for babies. And modern neuroscience is telling us that the body and the nervous system are not separate from the mind. They are the mind in motion, and how we touch, move, breathe, and connect physically shapes our emotional and neurological development. So what we can move energy through the body, through somatic practices, that then gives us space to perceive the world in a different way. Because if the body is, for example, in pain, then, we experience more tension, more stress. Once the body starts to be freed up from that, there's more expansion throughout the whole of your life to see and have a different experience of the world. So somatics is all about the art and science of listening to the body. And for babies, the body is their only language. They only have their felt senses to communicate through and with, because the cognitive development of a baby is not until around 18 months to 2 years, where they have a sense of separation. So they're experiencing everything through the world, through their body, and through the body and perception of the person who is caring for them. So before a baby understands words, they understand warmth, rhythm, and tone. They understand our heartbeat, the rocking, the voice. These are the somatic languages of safety that are transferred from the womb into the world. And this is why I put so much emphasis at Blossom and Berry on the love bubble, because the love bubble is about creating a perfect environment for these somatic practices to be given the respect that they deserve. Because when we're rushing around and doing all the things, the simple act of holding, of gazing, of listening, of singing, they're lost in the day-to-day running of life. And so when we create the love bubble, this is the perfect environment to step into these somatic practices, because we're bringing presence and we're taking away pressure. When a parent holds, touches, or rocks a baby with presence, they're teaching the baby's nervous system that you are safe in this world. They're prioritizing presence with their babies, and that is one of the greatest things that you can ever give your child, because a baby needs to borrow the parent or caregiver's nervous system initially to help them to regulate their own, because that's their reference point in the world. Babies are looking to us as a mirror as to what is going on. And we know that there are important aspects of neurodevelopment, like the empathy, which is really closely linked to mirror neurons developing, because babies are seeing the emotional responses of their parents and understanding how social relationships work. That when I express myself like this, the other person expresses themselves like that. And this is how they start to understand social relationships and build up their understanding of emotional responses as well. So this sense of safety is the foundation of secure attachment. It's built not through thinking, but through thousands of tiny body-to-body moments, which is why, as I mentioned previously, when we lived in societies which were less disconnected, there would have been so much more opportunity for that skin-to-skin contact, that continuity of care. Now, I saw this very clearly when I worked with mothers in Malawi with my charity Love Support Unite, where there wasn't many toys, devices, but there was constant closeness, touch, singing, and carrying. And those babies were settled and tuned and content because love was transmitted somatically. They didn't have much in terms of material kind of stimulation, but they had everything in terms of physical, emotional, and somatic connection. And it made a huge difference to those babies. So those babies were very confident, very smiley, and they were very content. Now, how babies regulate us is through the body, and it's really important to understand what co-regulation is. So to define it simply, babies can't regulate their nervous systems on their own. They need to borrow ours, and this is called co-regulation, and it's the dance between an adult's calm and a baby's sense of safety. So the Harvard Center of the Developing Child calls this process serve and return. So every time a baby looks and cries and reaches out, parents and caregivers respond with warmth and presence, and that builds the baby's brain architecture. So for parents, it's not about perfection, it's about presence. When we stay regulated within ourselves as parents, through our breath, through awareness and compassion, we teach babies how to do the same. And co-regulation happens not through the mind, but through body language, voice, facial expression, and most powerfully through touch and rhythm, which is the foundation of teaching baby massage and baby yoga. So how do we bring these somatic practices into everyday life? Well, in terms of nurturing touch, we have baby massage. So when you massage a baby with gentle responsive touch, with consent, we're activating the nervous system, particularly the vagus nerve, which is the wandering nerve that keys directly into babies' relaxation responses. And so in this way, we help to connect to the baby's body calm and connect pathway. And studies show that nurturing touch lowers stress hormones and boosts connection because of this invitation to enter into the relaxation space. So during baby massage, there's a somatic dialogue which says, I see you, I feel you, and I am here for you. When we go to look at gentle movement, like baby yoga, rocking, or baby wearing, movement is regulating the vestibular system. That's our sense of balance and motion. Now, rhythmical movement is deeply calming for babies. It's why babies love to be rocked. They're used to this from when they were inside the womb. Now, in baby yoga, we move together, synchronizing the breath and rhythm. And this is co-regulation through movement. Again, soothing, calming, giving that sense of safety. When we look at breath and presence, we bring that into all of our classes, whether it's baby massage, baby yoga, or outside in nature. Your breath is your baby's cue. When you slow your breathing, your heart rate lowers, your voice softens, and your baby feels that. Your calm becomes your baby's calm. And again, this is where love creates love comes in. When you love yourself and take care of yourself, when you can regulate your own nervous system, then that is the nervous system you're offering to your baby. If your nervous system is stressed or full of anxiety, then that's the nervous system you're offering to your baby. So looking after yourself is essential. It's absolutely essential to love and care for yourself deeply so that you can do the same for your baby. And nature and the environment offers us the perfect somatic classroom, the sounds, the light, the trees, the rhythm of the season. When we go outside with our babies, for example, in tree babies, we're grounding together. We're literally teaching regulation through the Earth's nervous system. So then we look at the science of safety. So Stephen Porges, who's very prominent in something called polyvagal theory, tells us that our nervous systems are always scanning for cues of safety and danger. Touch, tone, movement, and breath are those cues that babies are picking up. So that's why, again, thinking about how our bodies feel, how we move with our babies, how we breathe with our babies is vital to communicating to babies whether they feel safe. Dr. Ruth Feldman's research on biobehavioral synchronicity shows that when parents and babies are attuned, i.e. having eye gazing, their heart rate and the rhythm of their bodies actually working in synchronicity, they are connected. And that connection helps with this sense of safety and co-regulation. Again, this is what we're doing within the love bubble. Allan Schore, who has written a huge wealth of material on the difference between right or left brain learning for babies, calls right brain to right brain communication the pathway to building emotional safety and self-regulation. So that's the emotional side, our emotions and our feelings leading in those early years over more of our left brain kind of cognitive thinking. So when we talk about somatic parenting, we're talking about how love literally becomes biology, how presence, touch, and rhythm shape the brain. And that's why we have to put love first and give 100% love to babies. And this links to why I talk about 1 million moments of love, because in every second we have 1 million neural connections being created. Let those 1 million be of love. So the future, I believe, is harnessing the power of somatic parenting. Somatic parenting is love in action. It's not a theory, but it's a lived experience through the body. By teaching parents to connect through their senses, we're helping raise a generation of emotionally resilient, connected, and compassionate humans. The future of parenting isn't just about what we know, it's about how we feel and how we help our babies feel safe in their own bodies by feeling safe in ours. And that's how we nurture the future, one loving, embodied moment of love at a time. So if you've listened to this and be inspired, it would be a perfect opportunity to look at somatic practices for yourself. They could be a 5-minute massage, a foot rub for yourself, brushing your hair, doing something like the butterfly hug, just spending some time creating some oxytocin by connecting with your body. It could be taking some slow breaths, or it could be walking outside in nature. So there's so many ways that we can do this. We have this inbuilt wisdom in the body. When we listen to our bodies, we know what to give ourselves. So just bringing our attention onto breath, movement, sound, touch, and nature can make such a huge difference to our health and well-being. And this is where we're leading now at Blossom and Berry. So I hope you found this inspiring. There's going to be a lot more about this in our courses. We're bringing out more resources and deeper practices around this, because I really truly believe this is where the future is. It's remembering where the wisdom lies. It's not something that I'm creating, it's just I'm inviting you to remember. And there's so much power in that, because it comes from you, not me. It comes from you knowing that you have the power within to regulate yourself and find that freedom of enjoyment in your body, and therefore enjoyment of life in your environment and with everyone around you as well. When you start to love yourself and listen to your body, there's a sense of freedom arises that can come from nowhere else, because it literally comes within as your truth. It's an exciting time to be part of this movement right now, and I would encourage you to connect. We have a fantastic course called Be Parenting, which is free. You can find it on our website. It's in the link in our bio on Instagram. Share this widely with parents, because it contains so much of this. We also have lots of other videos on YouTube that will help you soon too. And if you've been inspired by this podcast, please get in touch, because I'm looking to invite even more teachers into the Blossom and Berry global family, so we can spread more love around the world and create millions upon millions of moments of love. Thank you for listening today, and I'll be back for a new episode very soon.